All right, we are back. We are at it again. I am DJ Stardust, and this is my co-host
Hey, DJ Big Ern.
and our very special guest today. We have.
DJ K Sprinkles. Yeah.
All right, so we are back at it with the Event Alchemy podcast. We are your event alchemists. We turn ordinary events into gold, and so recently we had the pleasure of running into K Sprinkles in Wisconsin at the Midwest DJs Live Conference, and that it was so much fun. It was my first time there. I'm not sure if you've been there before. Do we call you Sprinkles?
Yeah, you can call me Sprinkles or whatever. My name is Caitlin. My real name, in case you didn't know, is Caitlin. So you can feel free to call me that as well.
So it was your first time there, or you've been there before?
No, it was my first time there as well, and it was a great experience overall.
And Ern, what about you?
That was my first time. Yeah, I've been going to a lot of conferences that, well, all of us have and stuff, and that was my first time at Midwest DJs Live. I was excited.
So what were your favorite parts? We'll just start there since we were just kind of like fresh off of that conference. I know I'm very excited about a few things, but let's start with you. Caitlin, what was your favorite part?
I have to say my favorite part was the ladies' night. Previously I was asked before what has been my favorite gig or event of all time, and I couldn't quite put an answer to that question yet. But after doing ladies' night and just having that whole experience, I've never had an experience like that before. I've done a handful of gigs, and I can say now that ladies' night in Milwaukee is my favorite event that I've ever done. I've never felt that way, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I was super nervous, and to get on that stage and have all the support from the ladies and just everybody in general was amazing, and I'm so grateful to Milwaukee and everybody that was there.
I'm gonna say my favorite part about Big Ern. What was your favorite part?
The whole experience was definitely different. Going in, you have those expectations. You're like, it's another conference, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, from registration, checking in and stuff. But I got to say, that was probably the smoothest ride it was. Going into that, though, my best experience out of the whole thing was the flow. The flow, how everything went into the other. You didn't feel rushed. At the same time, you didn't feel like it was overload, but it was like pertinent information. The entertainment was when we needed to have it. So just when everything, we were learning stuff, the next part of the entertainment, it was a good kick in, I think. So it was a good balance. That was my favorite part about the whole thing. Like I said, you get into those like, we know what we're going to run into next, with this seminar, and then going into like this supposed entertainment. But man, everything was top notch on it. Education and the entertainment. Exactly. Boy, Ladies' Night blew all the other shows out of the water. Absolutely.
So I have to say there was nothing better than Ladies' Night. Watching each person shine so in like their own unique way, it was beautiful. And then just the rallying of the females and support, like the genuine like love for the DJ on the stage that was performing was incredible. I think it was super inspiring to be on the outside of it. So I just want to keep that momentum going. Just to switch gears really quick, are you planning on being at DJX, Caitlin?
That's the goal. Of course, I'm not sure yet, because, with the manufacturers, if you get booked or you don't get booked, that is promise. Sorry, I'm a little sick. That's the goal, so we don't know. I don't know what the for sure plans are for the future, but I would love to be down there. And that's another great experience to make connections and be reunited with old friends and DJs and people that you don't get to see normally, which is great about these conferences because they reunite you. Or you get to meet people that you've never met before, that you've connected with on social media, but to finally just put a face-to-face interaction is just different. And just to be with a bunch of DJs and people who understand you and understand your field and appreciate your work is just awesome.
Yeah, so I know I was supposed to send a link to somebody and they were going to be a surprise guest, but with the tech difficulties, I didn't get a chance to send it. But so you and I got to connect a while back. DJX had us do a Women's Day video where we all had to say a few words and then they compiled it. And so we had never met at that point. Had we? I might have seen you at a conference, but I don't know that we had personally met at that point. But it was cool to collaborate with you on that and then follow you from there and just see you live, like perform live. Because once you see somebody in the videos or like you become a fan, I'm pretty sure that all the girls are fanning over all of the other girls to an extent, like just out of respect. We're like, oh my God, this is freaking cool.
Yeah.
But so circling back, because like conference is on my mind, we got scooped up by 2 DJs, 1 mic podcast, and a lot of us got to say a few words. So I wanted to know, like, what is the most like annoying part of doing podcasts for you?
Really, most of the time when I've done podcasts, I'm with my parents, right? So it's me, my mom, my dad. So I'm not gonna say annoying because I love my parents, but sometimes it's just like I'm sitting there and there's just them two doing all the talking and I'm just sitting there just like, okay. Like I'm just chilling here. They love to talk and I love listening to them tell their stories because it's my parents. I love them. They're my number one fan, my biggest supporters, and I love them. They're there with me through everything. And again, I'm gonna say it's annoying, but it's just funny because every podcast I've been on, they're with me and they get asked questions too. It'll just turn into this huge conversation, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, like waiting to say something. They love to talk, but that's what parents do, right? They support their kids. They love to talk about their kids and everything that their kid has done. So yeah, probably that. I'm just sitting there looking at them talk back and forth.
I get that. I know. So Big Ern and I have had a podcast for a while. We don't often have guests because him and I would just banter back and forth so much that it's
Yeah.
like it's hard to. If we were trying to sneak in a third person, I'm thinking like, man, my ADD would go nuts.
Yeah.
Waiting for my turn. So I know Big Ern and I each had a couple questions for you, and then we were thinking like, do we invite our parents in? We weren't really sure. So Big Ern, I'm gonna shoot it over to you. What do you want to ask Sprinkles?
No, that's great. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than having an amazing support system, but especially your parents. My goodness, man, you've got a leg up on a lot of us because a lot of times, all of us, our parents, say, look at us. What, you're DJing? What is that? Is that your second job? But no, you've got your
Yeah.
parents there with you, backing you up. And hey, you've been doing this for how long?
Almost 8 to 9 years. I started when I was 11, and I'm gonna be 20 in July.
Look at that. You started when you were 11. What? This is great. This is great. I mean, most of us, yeah, we start like in our mid 20s or early 20s. Shoot, I didn't start till I was around 30. Man, yeah, yeah, I feel that old.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. So seeing like in this industry, a lot of people come in at different stages of their life. Obviously, you're in this really early in your life. I mean, shoot, the first time I met you, or I didn't meet you, but I saw you performing, was in Austin at Scratch Bastard's Barbecue. Yeah, and I literally, we were just there. It's a big open area outside, and we're talking, we're writing the music, and then next thing you know, you just can tell the difference in a performance from their mixing. And I tell you what, when she kicked on, I was like, "Who is this?" Yeah, we all snapped our heads, and Nate Nelson's in the corner because there was a bunch of us from Dallas that came down, and Nate goes, "Shit, that's pardon my language, but
No, you're good.
that's Case Sprinkles, and she's only 15 years old." I was like, what? And so next thing you know, yeah, you had everybody just vibing off of you and stuff like that. So a big testament on that, yeah, on the support. So that's huge.
Thank
So
you.
my question to you is like, as far as, you having that much support and not only from family and not only from friends and stuff, but how do you juggle all of that, when it comes to, are you still going to school right now?
Yes, I'm in college.
Wow. Okay. So you're juggling a lot. Okay. You're juggling school. You're juggling obviously your career. How do you manage all that? There's got to be something else with your family that they support you on that.
Yeah, and actually it used to be a lot more harder in high school and middle school, because in college you have more control over your education, so you can pick what days you want your classes, what times you want your classes, when you go to school. And in high school and middle school, it's like Monday through Friday, 8 to 3:30 or 9 to 4:30 in high school. So it's like I'm so busy these days, especially in high school when I was in a bunch of extracurriculars. I had band concerts, band performance, band rehearsals, or maybe I just wanted to even just hang out with my friends and have my own social life because I'm a teenager. I would say there was some struggles because there were even times where DJs, we don't just do gigs, we have DJs that hold events for us to network or socialize, and we go to meet and greets and promoting events and all that stuff. And that's not just on the weekends, it's just stuff during the week as well. And we have to support each other and go discover new things. And it was a little hard at first. I remember when I competed in the DMC in 2019. It was in San Antonio, and I had school the next day, and I didn't get back to my house until like 3 in the morning, and I had to wake up at 6 for school. So I was like,
I
wow.
have a
Wow.
question. How is it that in that transition from being like, I just rocked out like a scratch convention with grown-ups and like, superstars and all these really cool people, and then it's like you wake up in the morning and then you're like a student. So it's weird, right? Like those different roles that you play. So how do you feel about those? Like, do you do anything to prepare from going to like college to like I'm going to a freaking competition where I'm gonna rip it up?
I want to know if you're doing real quick before you jump into that one. Like you're a musician, so what instrument are you playing the night before you go DJing? I mean, you're going.
I've actually done plenty of gigs where I had a band concert before, and then literally right whenever my performance was over, I had to go change out of my concert clothes into my gig clothes and go to a gig right after my band concert. I played the clarinet.
What about you, Steph? You play an instrument? You a musician?
So I've attempted several instruments. I was best at piano a long time ago, but I liked all the buttons, so I tried the flute first, and then I tried the clarinet. I ended up on a trumpet because it had the least amount of buttons, because literally all I can handle.
She likes it because it's the noisiest one. It's the noisiest one, is what it
Gosh,
is.
don't
I play.
underestimate it. It's super hard.
I play the trumpet. I play the trombone. I played the tuba,
Wow.
and the French horn was the other one.
He did a mariachi class my senior year and picked up the trumpet, and I thought I can do it because in case you didn't know, since you're a trumpet player, maybe you did, the clarinet and the trumpet are very similar and the notes are the same. And so I was like, okay, after the clarinet, the trumpet, the notes are the same. I could do it. Boy, was I wrong. I was struggling so hard. I had never played the trumpet in my life, and I thought it would be easy. And no, every instrument is I'm not gonna say it's hard, but it's a challenge and it takes dedication, and it's awesome though.
That's how I felt about the trumpet and the piano, like with the notes. So I was like, oh, pretty much like, very similar. And my brain, this is so far back, I can't even remember all the details, but I remember being in a pageant, and I hadn't learned that I could sing yet, so I played the trumpet in a pageant. And so when you're nervous and you can't breathe, I just let you know that you can't play the trumpet. There's no way to be shaking and trying to breathe when you're nervous like that. So I basically did not win the talent show. I had stood no chances at all. But I did attempt to use the trumpet, as my talent. But then I learned I could sing later on, so thank God had other talents, not that. So, what is your major right now? What are you doing in college?
Education. I love kids, and when I was in high school, in my senior year, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, and I even told myself that I didn't want to go to college because I was like, oh, I have DJing, and I didn't see myself doing anything else. I didn't have a spark or passion for anything else, and my teachers really helped me a lot. And people don't realize that teachers are so much more than teachers. Sometimes they're like your therapist or your mentor. Sometimes they even act like a parenting role to the students. They look out and they care so much for the students, and people don't understand that teachers, they do so much and put so much effort, and they even work outside of school. They grade, they plan their lessons, and they even help out so much students outside of school as well. And it's very underappreciated. And anyways, in my school, my teachers helped me a lot with it, not just with school, but like with life. Like they help you understand life, help you and try and guide you to be ready for when you get out of high school. And they were really helpful to me. And I was like, wow, they had a big impact, and I would like to do the same for like a class of students in high school. I want to teach high school. It would be nice if I can do the same and have a good impact on the next generation as well.
That is so cool. I mean, you sound like every star athlete out there. Like you've got this great talent that you could write on. And they think that like, oh yeah, this talent's gonna get me through everything in life. But now you're like, no, you're grounded. You're like, if I get my education on top of what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
it gives
Yes.
you more channels, more avenues, more doors open for you and stuff. And on top of that, being an educator, you get to teach other people. You're
Mm-hmm.
limitless, and at that point, you're like
Oh yeah.
you're like a master, at your craft, and you get to train and teach people. Yeah, that's great.
There's two things that my mom would always tell me, and she still tells me to this day. One is that people can never take away your education. Never. That's always with you. And two is she's like, you don't always have to do just one thing. You can be a jack of all trades. Like, meaning I can DJ, I can be a college student, I can go to school to be a teacher. I don't have to just stick to one thing because, the options are limitless. There's so many things you can do now these days.
So I'll just say real quick. So I went to college to be a teacher and I got my degree. And then I never ended up teaching a day in my life in a school. But I became a DJ on accident. And I had no idea that I would actually, and I'm not taking away from anything because I actually found a way to teach in the DJ world, but I was actually able to make a living, and my family was like worried about me when I first started. They were like, how are you going to get by? You're in I was hosting karaoke and I turned it into a living, surprisingly. So, my family was like, you have two college degrees. And I was able to just take everything that I learned from college and experience and all that stuff and use it in my own business. So also, because you're so close with your family, I have a question for you, because I know my dad had his own business and I watched him, as a kid, watch him work so hard and dedicate a lot of his time and his phone calls and his energy. Like everything was revolved around his business, and then we existed too. So were your parents entrepreneurial in any way, or were you inspired by them, or do they, I don't know, does whatever your parents do for a living impact what you want to do?
Well, my dad was a DJ, so he's like, every time anyone asks me how I became a DJ or how I started, I instantly, the first thing I say before I get into anything else or any other reason, it's my dad. He's a DJ. Pretty much, it's like every kid that sees something cool and shiny or full of color, you're like, ooh, what is that? And after that, I stuck to it. I would watch him practice, be on his turntables and his mixer, recording his mixes, and I'm like, that seems pretty cool, and I wanted to try, and I gave it a shot, and he taught me, and here we are years later on the podcast.
That's
I got a
so
question about
awesome.
that. Growing up DJing on his equipment
Mhm.
and then transitioning to newer equipment, did your dad follow in your footsteps and try to mix on the new equipment too, or did he stay on his old stuff?
Well, it's funny you say that. So my dad had two turntables and a DJ, a Pioneer S9. And when I got my own equipment, I got the exact same as him. I got my own turntables and I got my own Pioneer S9, and I loved it. And anytime anyone asks me what I prefer, I love the new stuff. No hate on the new stuff at all. I love it. It's made for us DJs. People make this new cool stuff for us to help us to create newer, awesome things. They have these new features for us. So I love the new stuff. It's awesome, and I think people should take advantage of it and try it out. But I'm definitely gonna always love and prefer my 1200 techniques and my Pioneer.
So you started off with the God setup. You had an S9, right? Yeah, we all know the DJ talk about it. It's called the God
Oh yeah.
setup, right? Yeah. I just recently sold my S7. I was so sad. I know. I was like, I don't want to let it go, but I got a brand new 72 just sitting in the box. Yeah, I got a 72, and I'm like, okay, well, here's my S7, let it go. But that's so cool that your dad, that you both like, you emulated what he had. You're like, I
Yeah.
want the same setup. That's great.
I do, yeah.
I love it.
I love my turntables.
So I don't know how much longer we have you for. So I don't know. I would like to know. I mean, and then I want to ask you if you want to add anything else. What are you most excited about that's coming up for you? Do you have any more competitions, or have you been invited to? I was going to invite you to do something at DJX if you're coming, so we'll discuss that a little bit further when you know.
For sure, yeah. Well, outside of DJing, I'm in the fall. I'm leaving to go study abroad in South Korea. So I'm really super excited and preparing for that. So can't wait.
How long will you be there?
Just 3 months.
Just 3 months, and so that's amazing.
Thank
My
you.
God. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm sure y'all heard it when y'all were young too, and we see it on the movies all the time, and y'all probably tell young people all the time. I get told it all the time. You're young, go travel, go live your life. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Great advice. Absolutely.
Tell me you're taking a DJ setup. Tell me you're
Oh my
planning on doing
god.
something. Yes, you've
Oh,
got to
for
be.
sure. I'm like literally already asked a couple of DJs. I'm like, if you know anyone in South Korea or any DJs, like tell them I'm gonna be down there because there's tableless. I'm not sure if you're familiar with tableless lounge. There's a tableless lounge LA who I link up with every time I'm in California, and I know there's one in Japan. So I was like, if I'm ever in Japan, I know I can link up with them. So if there's anything in South
I'll
Korea
throw it
that
out
I
there.
can do,
I already know there's a cholo class over there though. There's a whole
really?
vibe that they're all cholos. I'm just
Oh
saying.
my god.
They play the part of
Wow.
cholos. Yeah, so I'll hook you up too. I'll reach out.
No, for sure. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and while you're in South Korea, you're just like a really short flight, I think. I mean, I'm not sure how far the flight is from Japan, but to Japan, but
Oh yeah.
I feel like you're pretty close where you can probably have a
Definitely.
flight.
Oh yeah, definitely more close than United States.
Yeah, from here, right? You're almost all the way there. Like we might as well hop
Oh my
another
gosh,
flight
yes.
and explore that
I
part of the
wanna
world.
answer you asked
And
me
even
something.
if you didn't get into like a club or anything, I'm imagining that like finding a really cool area to just set up a DJ controller and just vibe out with like a really cool backdrop wherever you are. That would be really cool just for content.
Oh
Right,
gosh.
Steph. I wish it was that easy, but there's a lot of red tape to just like do public entertaining and stuff like that. Over there, you've really got to watch what you do, especially with a lot of these influencers that are going over there. They're
Aw.
taking advantage of that and really kind of disrupting the public, just going out and doing things like that. So when it comes to public recording and stuff, you probably heard about like in Dubai. It's kind of happening in Japan right now too. It sucks. It sucks that people ruin it for other people. But yeah, I love the idea of that.
I have seen actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have seen stuff about that, how it's starting to become more common in other countries, like just tourists are just killing it, like in a bad way. Like tourists are not being nice.
Maybe somewhere at the school, wherever the school's got you set up to do your semester. I'm sure that you
Yeah.
have access to some really cool spots.
For sure. I'm definitely gonna look into it because that would be awesome. Like footage from DJ K Sprinkles in a different country.
I mean, it'd be cool for those that follow you who aren't probably going to make it over to South Korea or
Yeah.
Japan in a long time, to just see, your perspective out there, even as a student. It doesn't even have to be DJ related. So, I mean, I know that for DJs, we like to show our setups and our lights and all that stuff, but actually, it's really cool to learn about you as a human and not just the DJ part of you because, DJing is just one part of our lives.
Yeah.
So,
You mentioned earlier, you asked the question something like, how is it like being a DJ and then going back the next day to being a student? I wanted to answer your question on that. So in high school, more in college now, whenever people find out I'm a DJ, because okay, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm in school in college, when I'm with my friends, I'm a social butterfly and I'm outgoing, but whenever I'm on my own, I have my headphones on, I can be quite an introvert, make friends and meet people, and I get more comfortable with them, and I'm like, hey, I'm a DJ, and they're like, oh, so you have a double life, and they call me Batman, and it's so funny because in a way it's kind of like a double life. Like in school, like people who don't know me, like they just know me as Caitlin. I'm Caitlin, and then whenever I go out and do gigs or like DJ X or Nom or now Midwest DJs Live, I'm Sprinkles, and it's so funny because when I go to stuff like that and I hear Caitlin, I'm like, who's calling me by my government name? Like I'm Sprinkles right now.
She knows the government name. Yes.
Yep. I know. I love that we each have like a name. Like Big Ern is Big Ern and Stardust and Sprinkles and like we all just I love that vibe. Like we all have these alter egos and then we get to just go be like low key and just kind of like hide out and be our regular old selves.
Definitely agree. So answer that. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's interesting because again, it's like we live double lives. Like we're DJs and then we're like, I don't know, other self.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have the colored hair. You and your mom, you have the vivid hair. So it's almost like, teacher, but, she looks like maybe she's got some kind of performer mode going on because of like, like the purple hair always brings. I used to have purple hair for years and it was like it's part of my persona. So I love that you have that vibe going on and I feel like, you transform from your college student into your DJ superstar, thing really humbly, which is really cool to watch because I mean you're 19 and it's only like up from here, right? So it's be really exciting to watch your trajectory. And what happens from here?
Yeah, it's just to add on to the double life thing. It's just a funny thing to say. My sister, I have a twin sister in case y'all didn't know, and she works at a job, right? Like, her job, like just a regular job, right? And sometimes she'll come home and she'll be like, "Mom, somebody thought I was Caitlin today. Like, you're Sprinkles." So funny because we're identical twins. So people will come up to her and be like, "You're Sprinkles," or like, "Are you Sprinkles?" You know, because I kind of like I have a following on Instagram. I feel like I'm a social. I guess I would be considered as an influencer. I'm a DJ, right? And I've been traveled to different countries, so people know me. And it's just so funny because they'll be like, they thought I was Caitlin, and she'll just tease me and tease my mom. It's
She won't
hilarious.
tease you until the day she can get into the clubs and everything, right? Until they're like, "Oh yeah, Sprinkles." She's like, "Oh yeah, come in." She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Sprinkles."
It's hilarious.
You know,
It
I
definitely something
see you
funny.
hiring her in the future to be like your body double because you're gonna be so famous that like you're gonna be like, sneaking in a back door, but you can send her through the front and they'll never know the difference.
They can choose
You
me.
could like put her on your payroll, you know.
Yeah, it's awesome. It happens all the time. We're identical twins. It's so funny. So funny.
No, I did not know that you had a twin, so
Hmm
I might, call her Sprinkles if I ever saw her out sometime and be like, hey,
No,
I'd
and
go up,
it's
try to hug her, and she'd be like, who the hell is this girl?
oh my goodness, that would be crazy. And it's even more funny because I have purple hair, so it's like she has long brown hair, and people still think she's me. It's like I have purple hair. I don't know how else I can help the people out.
That would be a crazy April Fool's event if like you were able to do like a staged event one side of the stage and then you pop up on the other side. People are like, "What the hell's going on here? What is going on?"
Seriously, you could have so much fun with that.
And it's funny
Teach her a
because
few scratch tricks. I mean, how
we will
cool!
do our best.
Are there twin DJs out there that like
Yes,
DJ together?
DJs Amira and Kayla. Maybe you've heard of them? I've been watching them since I started DJing. They're awesome and they're so famous. They've done events. They've done an event at the White House. The White House.
No
It was
kidding.
awesome. It was freaking awesome. And I know they've done something with, what's their name? I just had a brain fart. Anyways, yeah. Run DMC. They've done stuff with Run DMC, events with them, and they just have a huge resume, and they're so awesome. They're so awesome.
So real quick, and then we'll try to let you go, right? So how would you feel about sharing the spot? Like if your sister, who looks exactly like you, was like, I want to DJ too, would you like welcome her in and like try to like help her out, or would you be like, no, like this is my
Yes.
thing. You can't look like me and do what I'm doing.
No, I would love that. And actually, she tried to get into DJing. She showed a little interest, and she was learning with me. And she didn't like it. She was like, "Yeah, this isn't for me." And I feel like if we were like this awesome duo, it would be so powerful. Like, yeah, this is double trouble.
I got a double question off of this right now. Okay, so if that was to happen, what would be her DJ name? What do you think it would be? To kind of play off of
My
what K
God.
Sprinkles and
Honestly, I have no idea.
no idea. Okay, no
So
worries. No
I'm
worries.
gonna let y'all try it. I'll let each of y'all get a chance right now to pick what y'all would think. Go with K Sprinkles.
What's
I
her
would
name?
just
What's your sister's name?
Brianna.
Rihanna.
I would kind of ride off of like sprinkles and sparkles, like sprinkles and sparkles. That'd be kind of fun. Just ride off the whole like. But that's what I wanted to ask. How did you get sprinkles?
I love getting that question. I get it a lot sometimes, and I love it every time. So it's actually funny. Me and my dad were like, okay, we're doing this DJ thing for real. So we need a DJ name. And we didn't think about a DJ name until days later. And we're like, so we need a DJ name. So we sit down in the dining room and we pull out the laptop and we look up DJ names. We actually look up DJ names because I couldn't think of anything and he couldn't either. Like, we were just slumped. So we were looking at websites of all these names, and there's these crazy names, and then these common names, and I see something that's like similar to Sprinkles, and I'm like, Sprinkles. I like Sprinkles, and I just thought it was really unique. And to be fair, I was 11 years old at the time. I
True.
was a kid. So yeah, I was like, okay, I can do Sprinkles. It's unique. Hadn't seen or heard anyone with that name, and I thought that it would be something that would stick. Like you hear DJ K and the K for the first letter of my name, so DJ K Sprinkles. It kind of has that has very to it. Okay, sprinkles. So and then now here we are, and it's so funny because people will get that, will ask me that, and as they're asking me that, they'll laugh and they're like, "How did you get that name?" And it's awesome. It's such a joy. I don't regret it. I love my name. It's unique, and I think it fits my personality too. Rainbow sprinkles on sweets, and I like dessert, and I just think my friends call me bubbly a lot, so I think it just fits me well.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, you're like sprinkling happiness over everybody, you know? Yeah, heck yeah, you know? Whether you come in, you're talking, engaging, you know, if you're just socializing, or whether you're mixing, you're sprinkling
Yeah.
happiness everywhere. That's
But yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely.
I
So,
have this job actually that's like sprinkling all the hits back to back. Yeah.
there's a lot you can do with that visually too. So I know we've kept you for a while. Let's let everybody know where they can find you, and then if there's anything else you want to add before we let you go, because I hate to end the conversation, but
I don't think I have anything to add. I just want to thank both of you guys so much for having me on here. It was awesome to hang out with y'all in person, and I hope we can do it again soon at DJX. And the questions are great. I had so much fun. It's really awesome when an interview is not like an interview. It's just a conversation, or you're just hanging out with friends, and y'all made it awesome. This was such a fun conversation. I forgot it was an interview actually. I'm just like chilling and talking to you guys. Like I didn't just see y'all at Milwaukee. It was awesome, and thank you so much for having me, and you guys are great, and I hope we can do this again sometime soon. With my parents. They're busy. Well,
Oh
I
my
would for
gosh.
sure love to have them on.
You are the sweetest, the sweetest ever.
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
it was
I'm
great
sorry,
meeting
I'm a
you
little sick.
and your whole family, or not the whole family, but your parents. Yeah, they were super sweet, and then running into you guys in the airport afterwards, that was so funny. I'm like, it was like, I left the expo early, and I'm sitting in the airport just kind of like not thinking I'm gonna see anybody, and I felt very like incognito, just like hi now. And then your dad noticed her, and I was like right across from him, and I was like, oh shit, no one's
Yeah.
safe. Like you try to, hair in a bun,
Oh
trying
my
to
God.
escape. I was like,
No, tell me about it. I was leaving the hotel and I was like, I want to get in my comfy airport clothes. So I changed really fast in the bathroom. And my mom's like, Caitlin, come on, we have to go to the airport. And I'm like, I hope nobody sees me in my pajamas. And then I go to the airport and I get seen. I'm like,
I know. So funny.
in my pajamas. But it's okay.
Yeah, honestly, it was great to run into you both in Wisconsin and at the airport, and here on the podcast. So,
Yes.
next up, maybe Atlantic City. Well, let's keep in touch about that, because if you're going to be there, I definitely want to talk to you before you get
Oh,
there.
yes. I would love that.
All right, so we'll let you go. And Big Ern, do you want to keep hanging out for a few minutes and keep catching up here?
Either way, whatever works.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit, and then I will let you know when this is gonna air, and I will send you over some links. And
All right.
I think your mom said she's gonna send me a logo.
Oh yeah, what do you got coming up? Yeah, let us know what's happening, right?
For sure. We'll do. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. I think this is like probably the most fun that I've ever had on a podcast. But
Don't tell anybody.
this was definitely awesome, and I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me, and please follow me and link it to me on all social media and every platform at DJ K Sprinkles. Please don't forget the K.
Bam,
Please don't
bam,
forget
bam.
the K. And thank you so much, guys. I had fun. Have a good evening, and good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
My goodness, she is just adorable. Wow.
I was thinking her sister could be named Rainbow, DJ Rainbow, and she could be K Sprinkles. Rainbow Sprinkles? I don't know. But you have me thinking to myself, if I was 11 years old as a DJ, what the hell would I have named myself at 11 that I could trust would still work out as an adult? She seemed to have
Exactly.
nailed it.
Yeah. What's the evolution on that? That's, yeah, you gotta think about that. It's like, is that name gonna hold the test of time? Yeah.
Right. I had no idea that her dad was a DJ and that she's been DJing since 11. So I don't know. All new information to me. And the
I had a
instrument.
I had a feeling that, yeah, because at the ladies' night party, he knew how to connect everything. He knew how to connect the controllers. He knew how to set up the laptop. I was like, no, he's got experience. I know he does. So I had a feel.
Well, that's really cool. Honestly, I mean, my dad was not a DJ. He wasn't musically inclined at all, so I don't know where I got it from. Other than I pick up all of a sudden. Other than the fact that my dad's mom used to be a lounge singer, and then I, grew up and he bought me a karaoke machine, and I was a singer that, like, I never connected. My mom didn't sing, my dad didn't sing, but my grandmother did sing. So we always get it from somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's really cool that she had that where her dad was like, hey, I'm here to help. And her mom's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'll book you and help too. And like,
Yeah,
shit.
it's really cool that she picked up on the trade, and just ran with it. She learned from her dad because her dad was doing it, and she just took off. It's one of those things, like, I bet you anything is like one of those training wheel moments, where you got the bike and dad, I'm ready to take off the training wheels, and you take them off, and next thing you know, she's already like on a race car. She's gone. It's like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, she is a performance DJ. She was scratching like backwards with her elbows. Like, I had my phone up because you couldn't see above her. I was way down here. I mean, I did get up on the stage a little bit, but I didn't want to be all up in her business. I did want to be all up in her business, but I wanted to give her space, right? So in order for me to see what she was doing, somebody else had their phone up, and then I had my phone up looking at their phone to see all of her tricks, and it was like mind blowing. And I'm like, first of all, I still can't baby scratch. So we'll start there. So for someone like me,
There was your phone, and I guarantee you nobody could see her mixing unless you looked at somebody's phone trying to record her. Because your phone, along with 50 other phones and cameras that were behind her, above her, on the sides of her, you couldn't see her when she was performing on that stage. It was incredible.
yeah, honestly, I wanted to give shout out all the girl DJs too on that stage, and Tori for hosting too. Like, for the girls, I know it's really hard to explain to the guys like how we feel. I don't know, because guys aren't as emotional creatures as we are. So I will say that, like, what DJ Jess was able to create in Pittsburgh and what Nate was able to create in Midwest DJs live in Wisconsin, support and love and all of that female DJ stuff. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to become a thing, like, everywhere we go. Girls are just supporting the freaking girls. And just because, I mean, you probably seen it growing up, girls did not always support girls. It was competition. You couldn't trust another girl. They were always going to stab you in the back, take your man, take your job, whatever. So this is all new, and it feels really good.
Boy, you watch that recap video of the party in Milwaukee, the way how it was put together, phenomenal. I mean, there's one thing when the camera views are only facing the DJ behind the booth, but man, when you see that crowd of people, and I know that the venue was open to the public, that was all DJs. That was everybody from the conference. Nobody from the conference was going to miss that party. And I tell you what, there was people trying from the sides to get in just to see something of what was happening. It was that packed. That is proof right there. Like, are we captivating the audience? Absolutely. They nailed it.
Yeah, honestly, I for a smaller size conference, I really appreciated the thought and detail that went into, the 2 days. And I like that it was short and sweet. And then let's talk about how the guys that put the show together gave the girls their moment to shine, and then came out at the end and continued the party a little bit, gave the girls a break, and then gave us a show. So we got DJ Demand, Even Steven, and
Digital Dave.
Digital Dave. Yeah. So there's three
It's okay.
epic DJs right there. Sorry,
It's
brain
okay.
fart.
He's forgettable. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, absolutely not. I'm like, I can see it. And I actually was like thinking, like, I know his wife. I remember watching them at the DJ Collective when she spoke.
No,
I've seen Digital Dave talk a bunch of times, but to perform also. What a treat.
Yeah.
To
That
give
was
the
great
ladies.
about what they did. Yeah, they didn't want to steal any thunder. This was all about ladies' night, and Nate mentioned it. He's like, look, we're not promoting the after party. Yeah, we'll have a couple of guys closing at the end of it, but we're not going to announce it because it's not about the closers. It's about the ladies' night. And that was great. That was thought out and well planned on that. Yes, for a nonprofit conference, I repeat, for a nonprofit conference, by far one of the better DJ conferences out there, hands down. It was amazing just to see like how many different companies, owners that came together to put this together. And you would think, wow, this, costing a pretty penny. And when they put the man hours of what it takes for them to do that, so it's 13 months. They put that number out there. 13 months to plan out the next conference. And then all the hours it goes in, not for staging, not for the day of, it's everything else, the meetings that they go through. They really think things out, and it's fantastic. The great board by far.
Yeah, definitely a different vibe than a lot of bigger shows. So I'm kind of digging these smaller shows. So far this year I went to the Pittsburgh one, the Pittsburgh DJ Summit in January, MEX in February, Midwest DJs Live, and then next up I'm gonna go to DJX, and then I'll be at Wedding MBA and maybe DJs Assemble. Not really sure. I don't think I'm gonna do, and I'm not even sure if Harvest of Sound is still happening, but there's a lot of conferences, and I got to start taking some of them off my plate. They're just exhausting. They're an investment. Yeah, so I mean, I think unless I'm speaking or I've got some kind of role or I'm doing something, I got to like back off a little bit, right? And make room for some other people to kind of step forward and take a role.
Yeah, I'm hearing of like other conferences, not really conferences, but more the networking part of it, where it's going to be smaller, intimate, not 200, not 100, not 50, but, maybe like 25, just something really small and intimate where, it's everybody gets to actually say something, in that, and a lot more work, just having fun, relaxing together. That's the other thing. You get more of the fireside chats, I think, than you do in a room full of like 200 voices trying to say something, yeah. Everybody's coming at a different level, but if you have a smaller, intimate group, you can play off of that a lot more and get, I think, quite a bit more too. You surround yourself around that small circle, learn from those people, you'll gain a lot.
I mean, plus the friendships. Well, I mean, I think what's really great about our community is we're all across the U.S., Canada, some of the UK. I mean, people are coming around from everywhere to gather. And that's usually at the bigger conferences. But it's nice, you meet at the bigger conferences and then you continue to build your relationships at the smaller ones, or you just do a road trip and go hang out with the friends that you meet along the way. I really, like a little over a year ago, remember we did our road trip from, where was I even? Was I in where the hell? I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then we road tripped back to Dallas. Like, that was freaking awesome. So, I don't know. I really enjoy the smaller atmosphere, and yeah, I don't know. So far this year has just been a solid, I'd say like 5 stars on these conferences. I'm just loving the vibes that the females are, bringing the energy and the support and the love, and it's real. It's real, and there's no drama. I just love it. I don't know.
Yeah, big thumbs up for me from Midwest. Yes, Midwest, you've got my vote. Absolutely. Now, I don't vote for much. I really don't. But Midwest, you got me.
Yep. So, we got a couple of minutes left. What's coming up on your schedule that you're excited about?
Big move. I mean, I'm selling my house here in Washington State, so I'm in the process of that. Basically, shutting it down up here in Washington and be fully in Dallas, Texas. That's the biggest thing. Just selling the house, getting the finalization on that, and man, I tell you what, LaForce, wow, talk about presence wherever they go. It's biggest thing that has ever set in with me is that when I did my first event with them, and I was in awe, and the DJ I was working with, he goes, "Welcome to the big leagues, Ern. Welcome to the big leagues." I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
So that's one thing I'll say, is that there's a noticeable shift in energy when the LaForce crew is there. And you notice like something's missing when they're not there, and sometimes you can't really put your finger on it. But it really does come down to the people in our industry who just have a big impact just by stepping in the room. And I don't think it has anything to do with how many followers they have or like if they're the best DJ ever. It's just their presence, the good energy, the camaraderie in the room. I don't know. There's just something about LaForce when you guys come in. It's just like, yes, the friggin' crew's here. And then the let's fucking go. There's a lot of that.
No,
So I love LaForce.
You're right. You're absolutely. Even in Dallas, though, the camaraderie between the other DJs and how they collaborate with each other. I didn't realize how many other DJs that aren't a part of LaForce still love to work with LaForce DJs. That's so cool. You don't find that in many markets where there is, a predominant DJ company. There's tons of them in Dallas. That there are. But when it comes to other DJs wanting to work and collaborate with them, that's beautiful. That's like every dream, for a DJ. Like, oh man, we get along well. Holy crap, there's no animosity. There's no like, oh, you're stealing my business. No, Not at all with a force.
So it's, I would say, just like the female DJ group that was in Midwest, very curated group of DJs, of female DJs, and then La Force has a very curated group of like personalities that happen to also be DJs, it feels like. Because it's like the person doesn't even like, even if you don't know they're a DJ, sometimes just they have that cool, like, I want to know you vibe, like, there's just something about you guys. I don't know what it is. Just this La Force energy, big La Force energy. So you fit right in with them. I'm glad they scooped you. I'm glad you are transitioning and moving your stuff and just kind of like making your home base there, because then they have your back. Like, it's only up from here for you, right? La Force is just kind of like your launching pad now for Dallas. And
I tell you what, it's a lot more than just a company. They are like family. I mean, the things that we get to not only do as creators, but also support each other. Man, I tell you what, I've never felt more comfortable with a family, a DJ family like this with the Force. So big shout out to everybody there in the team for welcoming me in, along with everybody else that's coming in to La Force. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful with them. So yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, I think, what our community is. It's the relationships that give us that comfort level. It's the family that we're building. And then it's that feeling of just knowing you're belonging. You know, you belong somewhere. These are your people. It just gives you a little bit like less anxiety about going out into the world where most of the people aren't your people. Because in Connecticut, this is not all my people out here. So when I get to meet like a you or a K Sprinkles or, you know, Kristen, Nikki, Jess, all of these, Michelle, all these amazing females, I feel like, you know, in Connecticut, because it's so small, the DJs aren't as open to collaborating and sharing jobs and such. But recently, so I put together a small a female DJ group, just in a group chat. Because when I need a backup and they want a female, I want to be able to just go into this chat and be like, hey, who's available? So there's a couple people in there just for like bars and little gigs, not weddings as much. So I'm excited. I don't know. I just feel like this is a really good energy year. It's starting off strong with like, I don't know, all the traveling and the opportunities, and then the podcast. I've been on a lot of podcasts lately, including now this one. I'm doing a little podcast tour for my books, which I'm effing excited about. There's just a lot going on, which is, I'd say the books are one of the main reasons why we haven't had an opportunity to meet up, and all the traveling has kind of prevented us from putting this podcast out as much as we wanted. And then you're moving, you're busy, I'm busy, but we're trying.
Hey, it's all about that evolution. Transitioning, just getting used to it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. I got to go, unfortunately. So yeah. This was wonderful. This was good. I'm glad we got to do it. You know, come off of a really big high note from Midwest DJs Live. And yeah, having K Sprinkles on here. This is incredible stuff. This was amazing.
And we are just under an hour. So at almost 55 minutes, we are not going overtime like we usually do.
Oh my gosh, we did.
Yeah, so I'm proud of us. All right, so it's really exciting to get this off the ground. Thank you for setting up this interview, because I know this was you connecting with her dad that made this all happen. So I'm very excited about the possibilities from here. We'll set up our next guest spot and we'll talk to you later. We are DJ Stardust and
DJ Big Ern. Let's go.
yeah, your event alchemist. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.